G'day, I'm Paul. So we actually have just finished reviewing the Ioniq 5N, and if you do want to see that full review, click on the link in the description below. But I thought we'd do a separate video on all of the cool features that this car has. Well, I think they're cool, you may not think they're cool. So engine revving, some donut making features. There's a drift optimizer. It literally has all of the fun things under the sun you could expect. We've got some spare tyres in there as well, just in case I cook a set of these. So if you do want to skip ahead to other parts of this video, you can use the time codes that are on the screen. Or if you're on YouTube, you can scroll down and use the chapters below. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you can find out every single time we do fun things with fun cars and flies. Welcome to the Ioniq 5N interior. I'm going to run you through just some of the features here on the steering wheel to start with. So top left, you've got the drive mode button, lets you go between eco, normal and sport. Over here, you've got a red button, it's like the ejector seat, NGB, N-Grin Boost. One push of that gives you 10 seconds of additional power and torque, which is good fun. Now you push this button over here to engage N mode. You can push it again to go to your custom settings. So this is something that I'll run you through here in N mode in just a moment. Then over on this side, you have the NE gear. Now this allows it to rev like a car. Have a listen to this. It has little crackles as well. So we'll have a play with that in just a second. So they're all your critical functions there. Then over here, you've got N mode. Now, N mode has motor temperatures, so front and rear motor, because this is all-wheel drive. You then have battery temperature, so it lets you just monitor the condition of your battery and motors when you are driving fast or you're at the drag strip. If you are concerned that they are going to get hot, you actually then have the ability to dive over here to the N battery menu. You can then enable drag mode or track mode, and both of those features will then use the battery's energy to keep it cool and within an optimum range. So depending on whether you are in drag mode, it will then put the vehicle into its optimum drag mode range, which is between 30 and 40 degrees for battery temperature, whereas track mode wants the temperature of the battery to be lower. So it will then circulate some coolant and ensure that the battery temp stays lower. You can also have a race mode as well. When you engage race mode, it will do its absolute best to keep the entire package cool because it knows that you're at a racetrack and you are wanting to keep everything nice and steady so that you can keep attacking the throttle. The whole reason electric cars taper off acceleration isn't because they're tired. It's actually a self-preservation system. When the battery gets really hot, you don't want to keep drawing current from it because you can overheat the battery. Whereas here, if you keep the battery temps low, you can keep accessing a lot of current, which means a lot of power for the electric motors. Now, let's jump over here now to show you how some of this stuff practically works. So we'll start off with N pedal. When N pedal is active, I'm going to set off here, it gives you three modes. So you have N pedal 3, N pedal 2 and N pedal 1, and you access those using the paddle shifters here. Now what happens is, as we accelerate, instead of using the brake pedal, I can just let off the throttle and it will aggressively slow the vehicle down, but we're not actually using the vehicle's brakes, it's using regen. And this morning I was doing laps here around the track going through the N pedal settings. In N pedal 3, the car will effectively slow itself down from 200 kilometers an hour without having to touch the brakes. It is going to use as much regen as possible before it hits that ABS zone. So it is a fantastic feature, and it's one that you have to get used to though, because you are effectively driving the vehicle just with the throttle. So mid-corner, if you start letting out of the throttle, it is going to brake for you. So it's easy to rotate the car and have a bit of a whoopsie moment if you're not on your best behavior. So good feature, but one that you have to practice with to make sure that you're on top of it. Now let's jump over here to our NE shift. So I'm going to switch that on. Now watch what happens here. It's in drive at the moment, but I can manually select gears. So now we're in first. So now I'll accelerate. And I'll go all the way through to red line. So you got crackles and pops, it lets you go to red line, and when you go to red line, it stops accelerating. So this is basically simulating a transmission. The RPMs don't mean anything because these electric motors will spin up to like over 20,000 RPM. So the RPM that you see in front of you and also on the head-up display is totally irrelevant. But the fascinating thing is that when it hits red line, it actually stops your acceleration. If we go here to second, it gives you torque dips. It gives you a bark out of the exhaust. and then you can go back through the gears. It does the burble, and it gives you a little pulse with the electric motors as well. It is just seriously cool tech, and while you may think it's a bit silly, it is there to kind of bridge the gap between someone who drives an internal combustion engine car and someone who, wants an electric car but wants to still feel like they're doing something. So really cool feature in my opinion, and I love that you can actually do that, which is great. Okay, so they're the sort of fun things there. Launch control, I'm going to show you how that works in just a second, but you have here as well the option to do active sounds as well. So you've got off, then you've got supersonic. This is what that sounds like. You ready? You got evolution. This is what that sounds like. And then the final one is ignition. This is what that sounds like. Here we go. So it kind of just sounds like an internal combustion car, but my opinion, it's best to just switch these off. Then the other thing worth pointing out as well is with these sounds, you can actually select whether you want it to be heard outside as well. So as you're driving, you can actually hear the noise outside the vehicle too, which is just ridiculous. Before we get into the really fun stuff, you've also got N-Road Sense. So basically, it's just a recommendation to switch N mode on when a double bend sign is sensed. I think it's just one of those fun features that's probably not all that useful in actual terms. All right, let's go back to the start line. I'm going to show you how launch control works. Launch control isn't just like normal launch control either, so you can actually select different road grip levels, so low, medium and high. Whole purpose of that is if you're on ice or you're on gravel or something, you can select low grip levels and it will just compensate for the amount of torque it's sending to the motors to get you off the line, which I think is great. You then activate it by pushing this, and then the rest is pretty straightforward. Here in front of the driver, you put your foot on the brake and then your foot on the throttle. So you'll see over on the right hand side, it will come up saying N launch control ready, and then to take off, all you do is just let go of the brake and away we go. Let's see how it goes. We'll give this a crack. So foot on the brake, foot on the throttle, and then let go of the brake. Oh my God. It's absolutely insane. It's 130. Wow, that is awesome. So basically with just standard launch control, it will do 3.5 seconds 0 to 100. If you use N Green Boost as well, drops the time down to 3.4 seconds claimed. So we tested 3 different variants of this in terms of the settings in our full review of this car, which you can see by clicking on the link in the description below, but it genuinely just smashes you into the seat. It is bloody awesome. Now, the bit I've been waiting for, let's have a look at N torque distribution. So you tick this button here, then you get to play with the torque distribution. So you can go full front wheel drive, full rear wheel drive, or any sort of combination in between. So let's go full front wheel drive. We'll see, see what this feels like. So that is 100% front wheel drive. I'll just come to a stop here and then I'll just stand on the throttle. I've got stability control switched off, so let's see what happens. Here we go. That is so cool. I don't know why you would ever want to do a front wheel drive burnout, but you can do a front wheel drive burnout, which is cool. Now, my ultimate question as well is, does it do donuts? Because, it's a sports car. You want it to be able to do donuts. So I've put it all the way over to rear wheel drive. Let's see what happens. Okay, we've got our cone over here. Give the throttle a quick jab and we'll see how we go. That's a bit too much. Oh my God, that is so much fun. So yes, it does do donuts, which has absolutely made my day. Give it one more stab around here. Oh man, this car is so cool. Let's just try. Let's try 80%, 20%. So I'll come around and then give it a stab out of our cone. This is what we've done previously with BMW M cars. So let's see what this feels like. This is so much fun. Genuinely, this is so much fun. Oh my God, that is so much fun. Okay, now it's time to test N-Drift Optimizer. So, turn that back on. So it says here, only use it on dedicated racetracks while pressing the brake pedal hard in drive. Okay, cool. So this function may cause premature tyre wear and damage. It might, but I've also got another function that might do that at the end of the video, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, so let's give this a shot. I'm going to go back up to our cone. That is now active, and I'm just going to tip it in and just punch and throttle. We'll see what happens. So here we go. Oh, there you go. That is cool. So you can see there how it's actually teaching you how to get stuff done. So it is a very cool system. So I think I've gone through everything there. I don't think I've missed anything. Let me know if I have in the comment section below. Okay, so that was heaps of fun, but I got carried away because I came back to do some video stuff for social, and then the tyre went bang, and bits of the tyre are now everywhere. But anyway, that's a story for another day, and why you have spare tyres. But I got to tell you, this car is just ridiculously fun. The fact that you can play with all of those settings, I mean, it is just so much fun. I was not expecting it to be as enjoyable as it was. Some of that stuff is super gimmicky, but you know, if you get a day like today, you've got a spare set of tyres and you want to go have some fun, even if you wet it down, you're not going to destroy the tyres. I mean, it is just smile-inducing stuff. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure you like it, you share it with your mates. Reminder, we've got a full review, full detailed review of this in the description below that you can check out. But today has been unreal fun. Until next time, take it easy.